valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. A few weeks ago we did this battle, 1940's US carrier and battleship group versus the equivalent Imperial Japanese Navy group. It was a fun battle, but we were never happy with it, and a lot of you guys weren't happy with it, so we've come back for more. The main problems with it were, first, we didn't have the correct amount and type of aircraft. For the Japanese, all we had was the A6M0. We didn't have the Kates, and we didn't have the Vals. For the Americans, all we had was a more late war fighter, the F-4U Corsair. We didn't have any torpedo bombers, we didn't have any dive bombers. So that's the first thing we've fixed. We've come back with all the correct earlier war planes. Also ships. We had very few ships to use, and that's also been addressed, and that's what we're going to show off now. So first, kudos to the mod makers, and I'll put the links in the video description if you want to come and play them. So first, let's look at the vessels that we have and the aircraft that we have. We have everything we need now, which is first a Yorktown class aircraft carrier for the US Navy. We also have a New Orleans cruiser. I've also got some beautiful naval nerds that I have accrued over the last few weeks. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Guys,
Hello.
Just give us a couple of sentences about the New Orleans cruiser.
So New Orleans, they were the fourth in the line of US heavy cruisers, starting with Pensacola, Northampton, then it was the Portlands, and finally New Orleans.
Beautiful, guys. Next, we have Atlanta. Same question, please.
Well, the Atlantas were basically designed to do a multitude of stuff, mainly just lead destroyers against others. That's why they've got so many guns. So they're great for dual-purpose artillery against planes as well.
Brilliant, and it looks pretty awesome as well. Next, we have Farragut, please, guys.
Standard American destroyer. They got the ubiquitous 5-inch 38 cals, much like on the Atlantas. So dual-purpose anti-aircraft guns, torpedoes, basically a baseline for every destroyer to come.
Roger. And finally, we have Porter.
Yeah, essentially just a slightly larger destroyer design, made to lead small destroyers as well. The guns dual purpose though, so they can't really shoot aircraft very well.
Roger, guys. I love it that you're taking turns. We didn't even script that, so that's great. That's my boys working together. We move on to the Imperial Japanese. We have an Amagi class, which I think is the Akagi. Anything about this? Because I know zero.
Akagi originally was going to be two. Akagi and Kaga were originally going to be two different ones, which is going to be Amagi and Akagi, as converted to aircraft carriers from the Washington Naval Treaty. Amagi was damaged during an earthquake, unsalvageable, so we had Akagi and then a Tosa-class battleship conversion of Kaga. They're slightly different.
Roger, that brings me on to my question now. I've got some beautiful naval nerds here, guys. It looks like it's a normal ship, a cruiser, a battleship, whatever, below, with a bunch of stuff added on to make it into an aircraft carrier. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
Japanese are funny. Next, we've got what I would have called a Tone, but now I'm learning about ships. It's Tone, question mark, and what is it?
Tone. It's a Japanese scout cruiser and designed to scout for the fleet with the massive float planes at the back. So in American parlance, they would use the Dauntlesses on board. The Japanese use the float planes on the cruisers.
Roger, and we've got these interesting looking guns here. I've got another one there. Next, I have Shiratsuyu, guys.
Yeah, so this destroyer originally looks a bit different. You can see they have a single gun turret aft in the X position. That used to be also super firing over a turret, but after some instability concerns, they removed it. They're originally more armed than they actually are.
Roger. Okay, guys, same question on Kageru.
Again, standard Japanese destroyer. Came after Fubukis, I believe. The main difference between this and the early ones is they've got 8 torpedo tubes rather than the 9. So they've got 2x4 versus 3x3. But same gun armament of 3 5-inch guns.
Roger, and I've got to say, at this point, the graphics on these mods are so brilliant. So well done, guys, for making these. It really helps us, keep interested in seapower and stuff. This needs no interruption. God, my brain. This needs no explaining. It is, of course, a Yamato, of which there were 2 guys. There were 2, weren't there?
3, but Shinano was converted to an aircraft carrier.
I call it. I say 2.5.
2.5. There were 2.5. There you go. And we have a Congo class battleship as well, which I've just learned about because we've just used it more on the sea. 4 were built, and they were built by Britain, which is awesome. Anything else about Congo before we got on with the mission?
Well, the first one was built by Britain in Vickers shipyards, but the other 3 were built in Japan after they learned from the first design.
Welcome into the battle, viewers. We have the blue group here, 100 nautical miles away. We have the Imperial Japanese Navy group there. Now, I have to set some rules up, viewers, because it's Sea Power, it's a one-player game only. I have to play both sides. So the rules I've set are, to make things roughly equivalent, each group can have one aircraft carrier. Each aircraft carrier can have 60 aircraft. Each side can have 0 battleships, because we can't reciprocate on the blue side, so they can have 2 cruisers. Each can also have 2 destroyers, but that's it. In terms of air wings, we better have a look at that. So, on the American air wing, we have 20 F4, F3 Mark, so that is the Wildcat air-to-air. We also have 26 SBD, that's the Dauntless, isn't it, guys?
Yep.
Dive bomber. We also have TDB, which is the Devastator, which is torpedo bomber, and we have 14 of those. In terms of their setup, we can see they have Atlanta, New Orleans, so the 2 cruisers, the hostile side if you like. We have Porter Destroyer and Farragut Destroyer there. Over to the Japanese, they obviously have Akagi here. Her air wing, don't worry that it says her radar isn't on, it will be, has 20 A6M2 Zeros. We have B5N2, which is the dive bomber. No, which is that, guys?
That's the Kate.
That's the Kate. Is that the torpedo bomber?
It is.
Yes.
That's a torpedo bomber. Okay, I just realised I need to switch these around, so I will do that before I start, guys. And we have the dive bomber, which is the Val. There will be 26 of those, guys. In terms of otherwise, they have 2 tones because I only have one. Sorry, tonne, because I only have 1 cruiser for them. They have Kageru. They have the Shiratsu U there. In terms of how we're going to play it, guys, we need a common method. So what I'm going to do on each side is take off their full air wing of fighters, 20 each, head them to the centre and have a battle and see who wins. Once their fight is finished, the side with some remaining fighters get the benefit of bringing those fighters back for defending their aircraft carrier. So let's say the Zeros win, they have 10 remaining, those Zeros get to come back and be defence, kind of like they would do in real life, I suppose. At that point, both sides get to start taking off their torpedo bombers and their dive bombers and attack each other's group in more or less the same fashion. That's the best way I can think of making this a roughly fair PvP in a single player game. Obviously, we have no idea who's going to win because we literally haven't tried this and we don't know how they're modelled, but if you had to have a guess, with 60 aircraft on each side, who's going to win and why?
It depends how well the aircraft are modelled, how well they function in Sea Power.
I mean, the one advantage America has is they've got much better anti-aircraft guns and much more of them, especially on Atlanta. And the Japanese, looking at the terrain, can't use their torpedoes and their anti-aircraft guns aren't that good. So that might favour the US on the defensive, but that's all I can really call on this one.
Alright, I fixed the problem and we're ready to go. We're going to turn it from Zulu to local time. It is 1000 hours local time. Let's get the Americans off first. So, American Yorktown, we're going to go there. I should say, viewers, all skill level of all units is set to veteran, so everyone's the same. We're going to take off all Wildcats. I know it wouldn't be controlled like this in real life. Well, maybe it would actually. When we did the full battle of, not Pearl Harbor, Midway the other day, pretty much you'd send the whole squadron or the whole air wing out in one group. So, anyway, I'm going to launch them. Pop, out they come. And we're going to go and do Kagi. You, ma'am, are going to take your 20 A6Ms. I want all 20 of them. And great to see World War II in Sea Power. It's not a World War II game, but as ever, we like abusing sims, and abuse we will.
I just love watching lifts.
I also love lifts, guys. My baby also loves lifts. So that is an A6M. One thing I've learned about Sea Power is the wingtips can be tilted like that. Although it seems such a small amount, I've always wondered what's the freaking point, guys. Off he goes. Let's go and check the Wildcats. One complaint you had last time, viewers, is that the Americans had not the Wildcat but the Corsair last time, which outperformed the Zero so much it made it pretty, unevenly matched. So you said come back with an earlier warfighter. Here we are, the Wildcat. If you want some information about it, I haven't got a foggiest, guys, any information about the Wildcat. We don't have Pacific World War II in DCS, so it's all new to me.
It's definitely interesting because when you look at just the specifications, they're slightly worse than Zeros in pretty much every way apart from their durability. But because the US pilots used great tactics with them, they were usually able to do very well.
Roger. Is that things like working as wingman pairs or working as groups and stuff like that?
There was a thing called the Thatch Weave, where you'd basically work in pairs to take down Japanese forces, where one squad would engage another one, and if you were being chased by one, another one would come in and assist you.
Right.
The other thing the Zero didn't have is the dive and climb capability that the Wildcats had, so they start to use them as well.
Right, okay, so it's teamwork, and it's using your plane to its advantage in that case, yeah. Because if you could dive, or if you could climb better, that's it. You're, in a way, invincible, because if someone's on your 6 and you're at altitude, use your dive and try and get away. So maybe we'll even see that today, I don't know. We'll see, guys. Right, so we're going to get 20 off on both sides. I'm going to then manoeuvre them into a fighting position, and now it would be great in this game if we could have an actual player on red and an actual player on blue, viewers, because then we could do a proper PvP and tactics and stuff like that. But you know, it's not a PvP game. We have to do the best we can, and if we're going to do the best we can, we have to try and make it fair, and this is the best way really I've got to do it. Maybe that'll change. Maybe we'll get a PvP mod for it at some point and we can do proper tactics, but that's how it is for now. Now, one difference to this in real life is that in real life you could pack a Yorktown with 90 planes, couldn't you? But my understanding is you have to pack them onto the deck as well for storage. Have I got that right?
Yes, in the Pacific it was normal to kind of pack the deck out as well. They tried it in the Atlantic, at least the Royal Navy did, and lost the entire deck part, so they never tried it again.
Why? Was it seas? The sea's too rough?
Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
Stormier.
Wow, that's crazy. Right, we're up. Now, this is what I've learned to do, viewers. I did know this, but I just didn't think to use it. I've got 20 up in 4 flights, right? Instead of trying to control 4 flights, which always becomes a nightmare, just do this. Zap. Yes, merge, please. I'd also like to merge you. We'll have a tiny bit of bugging when we do our climb, but otherwise it'll work nicely. So you guys, I'd like to put you just up there, please. And I'd like you to go up to your cruising altitude, or maybe your maximum altitude. You see a little bit of glitching going on, but it doesn't actually cause any problems in the climb, so off they go. Japanese, let's have a look at them. Kagi is there. They're not quite finished taking off yet. They're a little bit slower. Why? Do they have only one lift? Well, certainly they have only one operational lift. Did this thing have 2 lifts in real life? Do you know, guys? If it's true, then that is one major deficit, because we've all learnt about the Battle of Midway, how important it was to get your aircraft turned around. So, land, down, rearmed, refueled, up, out. If you've only got one lift, you know, you're massively bottlenecking that. So that's really interesting, if that's true.
I mean, either way, Akagi is still just a converted battle cruiser, and converted carriers are always going to have shortcomings compared to purpose-built designs like the Yorktowns.
And I wonder if that was also part of the failings and why they were relatively easy to destroy, and they were relatively easy to destroy, weren't they? I think one was sunk by one 500-pound Dauntless bomb.
So I've just had a look. She has 2, one at the rear, one forward. I think the rear one is where that circle is.
Roger, just not modelled for whatever reason, that's fine, so it's just modelled with 1, and because of that, we'll allow them no deficit. I think that might be her done. It is! Right, now I've got to get the Japanese in position. This is always a little bit fiddly, because I'm not supposed to be able to control these. It's really a kind of game exploit that allows us to control these. But it would be very boring if we didn't, because they wouldn't come and attack us. Try and get each group. Not great viewing, but it just needs doing. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take the air to ground off until these guys have had their battle, because I worry about, you know, destroying the computer basically with too much stuff airborne. Right, I believe that is 20 A6M2s, guys, all heading the right direction. Prepare for Trey battle. Let's get our guys. The Japanese are all set to free fire, so they will fight as soon as they get a target. If you want to know the range they've got, you can see, well, maybe not them, but these guys, they can go to the blue ring. 100 miles today. It's relatively short, but we don't want to be here all day. Let's go, go, go.
The Zero historically had a very impressive range, and they matched that with great maneuverability, great speed, and a great armament as well. But one thing they had to negate to achieve that was all armor at all. So the fuel tanks were unarmored and not self-sealing, so Zeros were very easy to take down if you could actually hit them.
Right, and I mean especially over water. You know, a fuel leak and that's it, you're down forever. Whereas these guys are going to soak up. Yeah, it just shows how important that is, guys, doesn't it?
Early in the war, most of the Zero pilots and most of the pilots on the Japanese carriers in general were very highly trained, because a lot of them had fought in China. But after Midway, it wasn't just the aircraft and the carriers that Japan lost, it was all their trained pilots.
Right, yeah, I'm reading. I watched a 2-hour Netflix documentary about kamikaze and the men that did it, and some of them were on their, like, you know, 3rd combat sortie, 2nd combat sortie when they went for their kamikaze. So training, obviously, such a major problem.
On the discussion of training, Americans would cycle their veteran pilots back to the US to train their upcoming pilots. The Japanese didn't do that.
They won't start actually fighting until they see each other, which is going to be what? Well within 10 miles. Americans are engaging with 0.5 inch, half inch. They've got just half inch, I think. They've got 6 of them, I stand to be corrected, whereas the Japanese have 2 20mm cannon with almost no ammo and 7.7mm machine guns. And they're engaging. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Who to watch? Is the question now. Watch this Wildcat. Everything should just sort itself out now. Enjoy, viewers, because I, at this point, have no idea what's about to happen. First gunfire from the leading zero. And it's kind of not too different to how it would look. Diving zeros. Wildcat destroyed. Quickly double check they're all in free fire, and they are. Sorry if it's too loud to hear my voice, but suck it up. This is where you need the freaky scoreboard. Zeros smashing the 20mm cannons in. Wildcats going down at a serious rate of knots. No zeros shot down so far. That's going to upset the viewers. I'll take that back. We have a 0 shot down in a hail of half-inch gunnery. 50 cal, I should be saying. Oh, he's down. Wildcats on the chase. Look at that giant dogfight. Oh, it's worth it, guys. It was worth it. Look at this. Oh, more Wildcats down. A couple more zeros down. I expected better. Keep an eye, make sure I haven't made any errors, guys, but I haven't seen any errors so far. All of the Americans seem to be set to free fire. Even though these guys are running away, they are set to free fire, so they are engaging. They're just doing it how they want to do it. Loads of dead bodies. Oh, sad, because it's all American, which is going to get me in all kind of trouble. All skill levels are set equal, viewers. No one has an advantage. What seems to be the advantage thus far is the 20mm cannon is done a lot more damage. Look at that guy just smashed down than the 50 cal. It's an A6M gone down. It's an A6M gone down. Can the Americans catch up? They certainly routed the Japanese, but is it actually going to be tactically advantageous? This guy has escaped. This guy engaging Americanas. Definitely the Japanese winning thus far. Remember, any aircraft they have left at the end of the dogfight, they're allowed to defend themselves with, and that's just any fair way we could find of doing this. Hail of 50 cal going down. 0 being shot at. God knows where he is. Bunch of Americans here working together. America being shot at and shot down. That's très unfortunate. Well, this must be at the beginning of the war, because the Japanese piloting is definitely superior at the moment. These guys diving. Seapower all working, which is great, because we are abusing it to do this, obviously. I've got on the rear of some Japanese gentlemen here. Ah, another Wildcat shot down while chasing a 0 which he'd shot down. It's a good battle. It's a good battle, but the Japanese are definitely winning. Come on, Wildcats. Come on, Wildcats. In terms of ammo, if they run out of ammo and they have to RTB, that's tough for them. They're going to miss the next phase.
It's probably the advantage to Americans. They have a lot more ammo.
Yep. Again, I'm not sure it's going to help at this point now. So many have been shot down. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to judge. These chevrons sometimes mean multiple planes. Got a 7.7mm firing on this American. Just enough weight of fire to take him down. Helped his buddy out and saved this guy here. Plenty of 20mm cannon rounds I'm seeing going round. This weird formation work. You said teamwork and you wanted teamwork. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you some real sea-power teamwork.
I give you the Blue Angels.
I am not allowed to intervene. If I wanted to, I could go in and spread them out and separate them, but it's not fair if I do that to one side and not the other. I'll let the AI sort it out. The Japanese tactics have been better. The Americans have sat in a clump and just got picked off. Look at the Japanese have spread around. They've come back and attacked the Americans from the rear. That's just better piloting, I'm afraid, viewers. %100% better piloting. Yeah, just sit and get chewed away. That's a shame. It's a shame. But rules are rules.
Yeah, they're trying to chase down a much faster aircraft in a straight dash. It's never going to work.
Yeah. Maybe the Japanese will run out of ammo.
Looks like the huddle has given them like temporary invulnerability though.
Yeah.
Because they're being shot down.
I'll take temporary invulnerability, guys. That's because the Japanese are shooting from a long way with a not particularly accurate weapon. Just using up all their ammo, but they do have 1 million ammo, so they're probably not going to run out of ammo.
I've only got 2 machine guns left that don't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, right. Weird fight, viewers. Weird fight. If you wanted a weird fight, it started off actually not that bad, and it's got all weird because this guy is just running away. He can never be caught up by these guys because they're not as fast. Who are getting shot by these guys who are fast enough, but they don't pack enough punch. So I'm not quite sure what happens now. I guess I speed up a couple of times to see what happens. Who's actually winning so far? As the Japanese. How about fuel endurance? I can't tell the Japanese fuel endurance. American Blob still chasing this guy. No, they got him. They got him on his own. Didn't need me and my help. Right, what happens now? What happens to Blob, viewers?
I mean, the Japanese are out 20 mils, so if the Americans get behind them, it should be game over.
They're spreading. They're like some kind of virus. One down. Are they going home? No, they're apparently attacking, but I don't know what they're attacking because they're just running. I think they're worried that their guys are on, I don't know, C-power algorithms, yo. You know, it's not that unfair at the moment. I'd say there's probably half a dozen v half a dozen. They're getting away now. I don't know. One's turned back in. It's going for a head-on.
Yeah, I think with C-power algorithm, they have to go far away enough to do the turn.
Roger that. Alright. Well, it's not a flight sim. But it is... Oh, they've suddenly just shot them all down. Well... I mean, these guys have been attacking away with 7 mils, but just have failed. So they've had their chance. Well, who thought that was about to happen, guys? Turns out the 50 cal wins the day. Not many have... Oh, I don't know, a few have survived. Well, there you go. We did it all fairly, viewers, and 6 have survived. So 6 now get to go to weapons-free still, and they get to go to altitude and go and defend their aircraft carrier. Right, speaking of aircraft carriers, Phase 2 starts. So what we're going to do is the same thing, but we're going to get the Dauntlesses out. We're going to get 26 of them. Put them in one big chunker. Anti-ship, which is a bunch of bombs. And we're going to go over to the Japanese. We're going to go devals and make sure they're on strike, which is a single 500 pounder, so less punch per val compared to a Dauntless, guys. 26. We speed up and wait. Now, at this point, if these guys run out of fuel in the meantime, then, well, that's tough, I'm afraid. Let's hope they've got enough fuel. And that was, of course, a problem with the Zeros defending their aircraft carriers in the Battle of Midway. A lot of them were caught with the pants down, refueling, rearming, stuck in a massive melee on board their carriers, and a lot of the attacks by the Americans weren't defended, of course. So there you go. Right, anyway, I've got a lot of organising to do, so let's see how we get on with that.
I think the Kagero's gone sub-hunting.
I will go sub-hunting. Oh, it's his prerogative, guys.
In Midway, there was actually USS Archerfish following them all.
All the planes taken off. Okay, we've got these now, viewers. The Dauntless dive bomber. Old, but they sunk a lot of ships, didn't they? So they did well. I think they did a lot better at anti-ship than the Devastator torpedo bomber. Do you guys confirm that, corroborate that?
Yeah, much better. Mainly because the Devastators were both slow and their torpedoes didn't work.
That wouldn't help if your torpedoes didn't work, guys. It's like, I've seen in War on the Sea loads of torpedoes hitting but not exploding. It's like, how hard is it? If thing hits object, set off a fuse. I don't get it. Is it because they're in the sea?
With the Mark 14, it is a magnetic fuse, and because I believe it's because of the magnetic field versus where they were tested in the US versus the Pacific, it wasn't quite right to detonate, so they just went ping. And there's a great scene in Midway where the sailors were crouching on the Gato, torpedoes hit, and they just sink to the bottom.
Is that which film, the modern one or the old one?
It's the modern one.
Okay, I need to watch that again. I'll get my wife to allow me to do it. Right, and in the meantime, we can start getting your Devastators out. So, they're going to be anti-ship with one Mark 13 torpedo each. All 40 now, and go. Check the fighters, doing their fighter stuff. They are great. Back over to Akagi. She has... Oh, her last one's going up as we speak. These are Vals, aren't they, guys?
Yeah.
Alright, most are on their way. Looks like just that guy there needs doing, and they're all reforming. So it has worked, which is great. Right, let's get my Akagi's Kate up. I'm a Kate. I've got to get this right. Type 91, that's a torpedo. 14 of you. It's pretty much just a logistics exercise, this battle. But I guess all battles really are, aren't they? Next, we've got torpedo bombers. Devastator's still taking off. We'll let them take off before we try and order them in. I've no idea how to do this, by the way, so any ideas you can dream up along the way, but we'll figure it out. I was thinking maybe sending the dive bombers in first and then the torpedo bombers.
If you want to keep a full ones, it's definitely best sending them one at a time.
Roger. Yeah, I'll keep the other guys back in the middle. Right, I'm going to set my defence up. So, they would have radar, obviously the ships, so they would know where to vector the fighters in. And therefore, I'm going to make sure the fighters are right, in the way, at the right altitude, which is going to be about 19,000, I think. It's probably going to be best. They've got plenty of fuel endurance, so they're not going to have a problem there. Okay, here we have the Devastator. As the guy said, slow, and had torpedoes that didn't go off. So
another thing about the torpedoes is that even when they were equipped with the contact detonator, at least some from the surface and subsurface launch variants, the contact detonator wasn't strong enough to survive the impact with a ship. So it would hit the side of the ship and the detonator would break before it set off the explosives.
That's some pretty terrible design for the importance of the task. It's quite amazing, really.
Yeah, early war American torpedoes were horrible, in large part because I forget the name of the department, but they didn't actually want to pay the money involved with testing them before the war.
Right. As well as that, it's not just that, it's Cold War. I've read books about Cold War American torpedoes, all sorts of problems, like going hot, running hot, in the submarine, so the submarine would have to spin around in circles to cancel to stop it blowing up. It's like, come on guys, it's like, get torpedoes that at least slightly work. Anyway, it amazed me when I read stuff about that. Who was it who died? Which ship went down with one? Starts with an S. American submarine. Come on, guys, you know this.
Scorpion?
Scorpion went down because the torpedo probably blew up because it went hot and they didn't get time to turn around and cancel it. You guys have just a handful to go. All right, we are nearly there, guys. We are an hour and 3 minutes into the sim, and it just shows how long it took to do all this and why Midway took, I don't know, the whole day, didn't it?
I mean, before the battle, all the flights would be mounted on the decks. So they could take off one after another, after another, after another.
But that means, that works for Pearl Harbor when you know exactly what's happening. But in a dynamic battle like Midway, you can't do that, can you? Because they found out halfway that they had to go anti-ship. So if anything, it might cause more problems.
And that's what issue we had with Kaga. They're in the middle of rearming because they decided to change the decision, and bombs hit them.
I think the aircraft AI and how World War II aircraft generally perform is much better and more on the sea. But the thing is, because of limitations with that, you can't really do big fleet battles like this. So you can't take off aircraft.
Right, yes. I've never even tried, because that's all I like doing, to be honest, is the big battles. So I'm probably not even going to look into it, to be honest. I mean, when you've got another sim that does it better, I know this is not perfect, but, logistically, this is pretty much as per real life at the moment, so... We've got all air wings, squadrons, whatever you're going to call them, on their way. Check the endurance on these guys. Yeah, the defence has still got plenty of fuel. That's great. We are an hour and 10 minutes in. All right, radar spotted this giant group here. So sending in their fighters to dispatch them. Any that make it past the fighters can go and attack at will, guys. Hour and 20 into the simulation. A lot of planes airborne right now. Probably 50 planes airborne. Something like that. No, sorry. Probably 100 planes airborne.
Those are small numbers compared to some of the actual carrier battles in World War II.
You guys can now go weapons free. And they're attacking. Defend. 6 valiant Wildcats are going to defend the best they can. Let's go, go, go. I'll put these guys up as best I can to maximum speed. Which it turns out is not very fast. Alright, all set to max speed. I've done everything I can for the Japanese. Oh my god, look at that. Have they got the ammo? Well, 1,100 rounds. Probably. They're probably going to smash them to pieces. Americans getting ready for their attack. Oh, jeez, look at that. And Immelman into combat. Or get lost. Either's fine. And shoot. Are they firing? Yes, they are. They're set to fire. Huh. Ladies and gentlemen. Whatever's going on here, I believe. Are they rear gunners? They got rear gunners, those Vals. They do, don't they? Well, I'm not sure about the tactics, guys. Just saying. Okay, that's what's going on. They're coming in behind them. Okay, they're going for front, guys.
Well, at least it looked pretty.
It did look pretty. I'm not sure about the effectiveness, guys. there's your effectiveness. All right. Let's leave them to it and see how well they do. We have Val down. But they're just doing it too slow. Because they're about to get hit. Right, I need to quickly make sure our ships are set to free fire. They, of course, are not, because annoyance. My annoyance is palpable, guys. I'm going to do my best here to go, what do I do? That and that, I suppose. Bit of micromanaging going to have to happen. You guys go that and that. That is everyone going in. You guys go that and that. Someone's shooting. They are taking them down. It's just going to take a little while.
You do love that micromanagement, Cap.
No, I don't. I hate it. It's the worst part of this game. Right.
Hopefully, when the AI improves in the future, we'll get opportunities just to leave both sides controlled by AI.
I would love that. That's why I do a DTS. I can just let them, because they're intelligent-ish, and they can do what they want with this. Anyway, it is what it is. They're getting shot down, and I haven't done anything cheaty, so it's working. Well done, Americans. If they win the battle because of this, then kudos to them.
I do want to see that Atlanta open up, though.
Americans smashing their way through the Japanese, and the Japanese are going down in scores. It works. The system freaking works, guys. They're going to all be shot down. Before they get there. I guarantee. Atlanta. Which one's Atlanta? That's New Orleans. That's Atlanta. That has some guns, guys. Just saying. That has some freaking guns. Are they 5 inches? Must be American, right?
Yeah.
Someone's firing. So many fouls shot down. Guys. This is great. This is top notch. A little slow, but top bloody notch, guys. Oh, look, yeah, because they're going now. They're going for it. Can the Americans stop them in time? This is riveting stuff, viewers. Right, let's see your beloved Atlanta. Not in range yet. Her range is... I'm not going to press anything, so I'll just mess it up. She is weapons free. She'll fire when she was... Oh, he just wiped them all out. The Americans just wiped them all out. Now they're fighting properly. Kudos. Absolutely kudos. And that's probably what would happen in real life, right? I mean, you just smash into them. You just slash before you shoot them all down. So, well done.
Yeah, the main weakness that the US had early war with their fighters was actually directing them to find the incoming aircraft.
Right.
Because there was a big difference between what the carriers could see and what the planes could see. So it would be the case of trying to direct them onto that, but because there was so much informal radio chat, it usually didn't work out the best.
Okay, so we've got a cheat view, we've got God view, we know exactly what's going on. Imagine in real life, no one knows where anyone is. So yeah, major difference. The gunfire coming from the ships is unbelievable. I can't even see it's coming from the destroyer. That destroyer's... Oh, look at that destroyer! Anti-air warfare destroyer. Dun. I don't reckon any of them are making it in, guys. With the destroyers firing one side, the Wildcat shooting the other side. I'll say this battle couldn't have worked out any better. Oh, and your baby's just opened up. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's a beast.
Yes.
That was impressive. Really impressive, guys.
Like in war, unless you were basically a battleship, you would not want to meet the Atlanta.
Amazing, guys. Ah, the boys diving down in their prey. Oh my God, look at that. Wow. Don't even know what's killing them. And that's just what it looks like in real life. Kudos, Sea Power. You did it. Great work, guys. Right, they get to go back up to altitude and wait for the torpedo bombers. So I'm going to put them there. It's great news, guys. Great news. Right, torpedo bombers. I guess I'm coming. I've just got to check the fuel range of these guys. Yep, they're fine. They've got plenty of loiter. So let's get the next Japanese guys in. In they go. They're going to go all the away here.
The only thing I would say with the anti-air is there's probably a bit more than there should be, because I don't think Sea Power knows the difference between high explosive and dual purpose. Like,
Roger. Does dual purpose mean a proximity fuse in the shell?
Yeah, so either proximity or time fuse, and it can be used against aircraft and ships. The high explosive you see on the New Orleans it doesn't have a proximity fuse or anything. It's only meant to be used against surface ships.
Roger, these guys here, I'm just going to send them in at 10,000. I'm going to put them on free fire, and whatever they want to fight at, they're going to fight. If I've got any ammo left, which they do. So, air defense, weapons free. Good luck, boys. At this point, I can start my first American attack. So, these guys, go. They'll go for what they want to go for. I'm not going to micromanage. I'm not going to tell them what to do. They want to go for these Dauntlesses. Dauntlesses. Jesus Christ. I need to sleep. Whatever the hell these guys are. Valves, leftover valves. Oh, that's about to hurt. That really did hurt, didn't it? So now they've got their iron, boys. Now they've got their friggin' iron. They are unbeatable. Got to make sure they can see with their next prey, and they can. They're going for them automatically. Alright, I can worry now about this attack here, which is VF5. I'm going to get them within about, feels like about 10 miles. They're 18 miles currently. Well, there's probably, now we've got all this working, a system working, there's probably a lot more stuff like this we can do, you know. Oh, they've really got their eye in, haven't they? Amazing stuff. I reckon they're going to chew them to pieces. Kate's firing back. Check our boys here. Range, 14 miles. It's all getting a little bit tense now, boys.
Now that's some close information.
That way, welded wing is important, guys. That's not very efficient fire, but straight onto the back of these guys. Now that is efficient fire. That is efficient fire.
Basically one beehive of bullets.
Right.
From one place.
Ladies and gentlemen, how the M61 Gatling gun was created. Yep, they've done it. This guy's going down. They're slow. They're slow. They're not defended well. Well done.
This is exactly why all the attack waves from the carriers would have fighter escort.
All right, you've done your job really well. Well done, Wildcat. I think that was top notch. Now, the final attack. It's just like Midway. Can you see? Oh my God, they're right there. Right, stop. Ah! 1,000 pounders. Go. I hope that works. 26. Dauntlesses heading in. Look at the dive brakes. In we go.
Oh, they extend the bomb out as well.
Extend the bomb out. Look at that. You're funny. Tonne not firing. Not dual purpose, question mark. So all they've got... I'll take that right back.
Well,
I was confused why the New Orleans was firing 8 inches at the aircraft.
Yeah.
That was confusing.
Yeah.
I think the late war 8-inch shells were fused, but definitely not on the New Orleans in 1942.
No, even the late inch Des Moines weren't. It was on the 6-inch Worcesters, but we're talking 1946.
Ooh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my nerds! In they come.
We are geeks, and
I
we
love
love it.
I do, 100%. I was doing this on my own originally. I was like, it's a plane, it's a ship. Now we've got all the friggin' facts. Look at them, look at it, look at it.
Like, just look at the rate of fire compared to the US.
Right, guys? And it's going to be moderately, it's going to be moderately realistic if every gun is set up. Here they go. I know the dive's not quite right, but it's the closest we can get with the limitations to sea power. And it's absolutely glorious. Oh, something big just landed.
I think that was a plane being shot down, Cap.
They're going to make it. They're going to make it. We can make it. We can make it. Keep going, Sergeant. Keep going.
Largely, Japanese AA was not the greatest.
Yeah.
True.
Bit of a them problem. Come on, boys! Bombs away! Oh.
So British.
Bang. Bang. Bang, bang. Ladies and gentlemen, everything done completely fair and square. I've cleared everything. And that's the difference.
Carrier.
You reckon?
Ladies and gentlemen, scratch one flat top.
100% scratch one flat top. And they're off, and they're home, and we didn't even need a torpedo. No, they're coming back round for more. Well,
They've still
okay.
got the smaller bombs as well.
Yeah,
Got
they
the
got two
smaller
500 on
bombs.
us.
Why not, guys? Let them enjoy themselves. They've earned it. Well, guys, I mean, what just a sweet piece of battle that was compared to the other one we did. That was night and day. I know there was weird stuff, but sea power, right? But the fight was pretty good. 20 Zeros were shot down for 14 Wildcats. Seems right to me, right? And then those 6 Wildcats remained, still had fuel, and managed to shoot down almost two entire squadrons of Japanese bombers in collaboration with Atlanta and whatnot. And then the Americans attacked. I mean, a bunch got shot down on the way in, probably 30% got shot down on the way in, but there's just so many. And critically, they weren't being shot by Zeros because of what happened earlier. And the torpedo bombers didn't even get used. I'm pretty happy with it, guys. I don't really know how I can prove it unless we had proper PvP, which we're probably never going to have. Thoughts of my beautiful humans?
As predicted.
As you predicted, as predicted. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. Really good. I hope you enjoyed that, and bye-bye.